Hey there, it's Wayfair here, where delivery and setup are as easy as a few taps on your phone. You're relaxing in an old hammock, scrolling Wayfair's app, when you spot it, a brand new patio set. Next thing you know, Wayfair delivers it right to your patio and sets it up. Oh, you need a new grill too? All right, Wayfair's got you covered. With Wayfair's Room of Choice delivery and fast expert setup on qualifying orders, life gets a little easier. Visit wayfair.com or the Wayfair app.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Inside Out Smile. I'm your host, Dr. Amber Q, and today I'd like to take you somewhere special with me. The Lake District in the UK. Now, the Lake District is just stunning. And of course, this is going to be a retrospective trip because I've already been. And I went with a dear friend, met another dear friend couldn't come. But what unfolded reminded me of something I think we all forget, and I had forgotten, or maybe I hadn't really forgotten, but it was nice to have a reminder anyway. And so, yeah, I just want to share that with you. So it all started with a train trip. Now, first of all, you would have heard me refer to my Texan friend that I speak with on the phone, and we met in real life. And the thing is that, not the first time, of course, but for those who are listening for the first time, yes. So we always chat on the phone, but it's different to meet someone in real life. You know, these parasocial relationships that we have online, they're just not the same as meeting somebody in person. You know, you just absorb sort of their energy, their being. It's just wonderful. So we were on a train. The whole thing was just so much fun, honestly. We were on a train together, we were snacking, we were chatting. Why did I mention snacking before chatting? That's slightly worrying. But it was just lovely. I was particularly excited when I saw horses in fields. She was excited when she saw sheep. I'm not sure why. But it was just so lovely. We were looking at the houses in the distance. And it was just so much fun. The time just whizzed by. And before we knew it, we were at our gorgeous hotel. Oh my gosh, when we actually drove up, you could see Lake Windermere. And the building was stunning, absolutely beautiful. And the air smelt very fresh. It was just, oh my gosh, it was just so beautiful. And the weather was absolutely glorious. I actually felt as if, I felt as if I was stepping into a fairy tale, because when you see these historic period houses, they're just so gorgeous. And when you see, the beautiful flowers and obviously not every place has a massive lake, but just the horticulture, just the way the flower beds are arranged, it's just so beautiful. And yeah, it just felt gorgeous. It was absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if it was honeysuckle. Actually, I'm not sure what it was, but the air was fragrant and it was just stunning. And so, you had this whole trip journey, I should say, where we were chatting and laughing and just sharing snacks and things. That was just so beautiful in itself. And it was just wonderful, I think, because one weekend we were speaking, the next time we met, the following week, we were just there together in person. It was just wonderful. So we checked in and we checked each other's rooms out. And it's funny because in our younger days, we used to share a room. But it's so nice having your own space as well. So it was just lovely because it's so cute, right? We looked at each other's rooms. I was totally in love with my balcony and my view. Oh my gosh, it was just utterly breathtaking. I think that is the only word. So we unpacked, we got dressed for dinner, and then we sort of rang each other. It was so much fun. And we went to dinner, and it was so much fun. I think the greatest thing is as well that, it's just really, I don't know. I think a lot of the pleasure is in sort of, planning a trip, anticipating, the joy you're going to have on the trip, and then actually having joy on the trip. But just those little things. So for girls, a lot of it, and probably for guys, but for girls, it's like, oh, do you want help with your hair? It was just so much fun. And when we had dinner, the view that we had was also, it was stunning. And to see the sunset, wow, it was just beautiful. And yeah, it was just so lovely. The service was amazing. Oh, I don't know. I don't even think I'm adequately describing it. But it was one of those moments where you think, I'm going to look back on this and remember it with so much happiness and gratitude, right? To be in the presence of just people that you really love. It's such a privilege, I think, to know people like that. And especially when you've known people for years. I know there's some people that actually know their school friends, and I think that's a lovely thing. Although that can be interesting, of course, because people's paths in life do diverge, and sometimes I think that those reunions aren't that joyful unless you have actually grown closer with time. And so, although my friends aren't school friends that I've had, they're friends that I've known for years because we worked together, or we've just known each other for such an amazing period of time. And the an amazing period of time? Can a period of time be amazing? I don't know why I've said that. But, for over a decade, let's put it that way. And it's so interesting because I had a friend in dental school, and he was actually in medical school, and we lost touch. And then we kind of reunited years later, and it was just so great. Speaking of which, I must text him back. But the point is that, it's just great to have known people for, over the span of a period of time, I guess, or a prolonged period of time. And I've always said it's not actually the length of time that you know someone, but it's actually that depth, right? So my Texan friend I've known for years, and actually I was introduced to her by another friend that I met whilst doing some community work, and that friend is also amazing. And it was just so lovely that she sort of said to me, oh, you would really get on with this other person because you are very similar. And so, it's just wonderful. And so this friend was joining us as well. And it's so lovely to see her evolution as well, because she has a family now, she has children, she has an award-winning business, she's an influential character. And it's just so lovely to have seen that progression. Mind you, she is really bright. She has been to Cambridge, LSE, and she's actually been interviewed on the podcast. So you can look back to that episode, and or maybe I should try and tag it in the show notes. I'll try and do that, or just email me if you would like to know which episode that was. And maybe I'll see if I can actually interview her again and see what lessons she's learned in life. That would be amazing. So hopefully she lives in that part of the world, and she's coming to London soon. So maybe I can persuade her to come on the podcast. That would be amazing. But anyway, so she was joining us. My Texan friend had sort of arranged that. So that was wonderful. And I was looking forward to seeing her as well. But we had such a lovely evening. And then we retired to our rooms and we were chatting and, just getting ready for bed and things. And it was just so joyful, I think. And the next morning, oh my gosh, I was up at dawn, pre-dawn for my prayers. And I was just watching the sun rise from my balcony. It was just absolutely exhilarating. It really is. I think it's so rejuvenating being in nature, and it's hard to describe, but I will go into that in a moment. So in the morning, we had a great time. Again, it's just, do you know what it is? I mean, it was a lovely hotel. It was, 5-star. There was a Michelin-starred restaurant. It was lovely. But I feel that the main joy for me was the company and the views. The nature was just nature around us was just it invigorated me. Nature always invigorates me. I feel that I feel as if, it's funny, when I'm in nature, I feel as if my eyes are directly connected to my soul, which is a strange thing to say, but I only feel that when I'm in nature. So when I'm in nature, my eyes are just trying to take it all in, and I just feel as if I'm drowning in all this glory, and it really feeds my soul. That's the only way I can describe it. So we had a great time in the morning as well. It was just so much fun. And again, I think it's the company that can be quite electrifying. And I mean that in a way that I think, I don't even know if that adequately represents just that rush of delight that one has when you're frolicking with your friends, basically. And so the other friend arrived, which was fantastic. And when she arrived, we just had a ball, essentially. It was, I don't know. It was just... There is something, and this is why I put it in the title, essentially. There is something, as I said, about seeing people that you've known for several years. And it's funny because when I met this friend, I was still working clinically. I was working in the NHS, and I remember we had such great chats. And it was the same sort of joie de vivre that you have when you meet people that you really, really love. And it was just so jolly. It was just great. The conversation spanned so many topics, from the frivolous to the amusing to topics of grief, actually. And because we've all had great life changes, and especially my friend. So it was just, there was great depth to that meeting. I think that it's really incredible that life is what we make of it. And so many of us are busy, disconnected, often online, and for all of us that can happen to all of us, because that's the way modern life is set up. And it's great to be in nature, but it's even better to be in nature with friends. So we went for a walk, and I have to say we were just all in great spirits. It was just so wonderful. And then we changed for tea. We had tea together, where the conversation flowed, the food flowed, the tea flowed, the cakes flowed, the sandwiches flowed. High tea, lovely experience. And then we just carried on by the fire. Yes, we had a roaring log fire to sit in front of and chat. And time just flew by. And eventually our friend had to leave. And it was such a great day. We had conversation, we had time in nature, time by the water, time by a log fire. So it was just, to go from the lapping of the water to the crackling of the fire, to have food and tea. It was just wonderful. It was such a good time. And I feel that, if you're listening to this and you have friends that, I don't know, that you've been, meaning to call, or whether that's a family member or someone that you used to know when you were younger and lighter, but you feel that life has dragged you down. Don't let that be the case. Let this be the nudge to say, call them. Send them a message. I think, we have so many choices in today's age, because you can message them on social media, you can text someone, you can call someone. Don't go there in person, because I do believe people shouldn't turn up unannounced. I do think there should be some sort of, I think, notice, essentially, if you do want to pop it over. But I think the thing is really that, just bring that relationship back to spring. Let it blossom. Let it just blossom, because there's a particular kind of joy and pleasure that only old friends can give you. And it's the kind that doesn't need explaining. And so for me, the Lake District handed me that joy twice, with my Texan friend, with our other friend, and another friend that couldn't join us. But the thing is that I feel that nature doesn't ask anything of us, and neither do old friends. Both just sort of hold you. And I feel that, I'm not speaking obviously literally. It could be, but the point is that being held figuratively, literally, it's allowed, and I think it's necessary, and it just, it's just human. This is who we all are. And I think in today's modern age, it's easy to forget that. But to combine those things, human connection and nature together, gave me such, I don't know, such comfort, such bliss. It was just the greatest rejuvenation and renewal that I could have asked for. And I'd like to add a caveat to this, actually. I would like to say that for those people who actually volunteered to go out to areas of conflict to help people or to rescue people, whether it's, rescuing someone in a lifeboat or on a mountain, I think those are very special moments as well, because you're in nature, you're in the natural world, and you're rescuing someone, and you may not know that person. Well, sorry, generally you don't know that person. It's a stranger. But I think that moment of human connection is so electric that, I don't know, I think that's just a life-changing moment as well. I haven't done that, and I can't imagine what that would be like. I think that, sometimes it's just so lovely to help people. And somebody said to me this week, oh, that's so kind, that's so lovely. And I'm not sharing that to brag, but that gave me such good feeling. It's so nice to help people. And I think that rescuing someone must be such a rush. That just must mean the world to them and to the rescuer. So I think that's such a beautiful thing. And I just wanted to add that, because although that's not an old friend, I feel that as souls, some of us, there's an Islamic principle that I have mentioned previously, but some people may be listening to this for the first time. But it said that souls that are attracted to each other on this earth may have been grouped together in a different realm before we were put into human bodies. So just think about that. People that you're attracted to, friends that you have, people that you want to hang around, your soul possibly knew that soul in another realm before it was put in your body. So it's not even a primal, it's not even metaphysical, it's just mind-blowing. It's just absolutely mind-blowing. And that isn't connected at all to what I was saying about rescuing someone, except that that's a calling of a good soul. I think that's all I can say on that. And I'm sorry that those two aren't really related. But the point is that it's just all beautiful, isn't it? It's what humanity is really about. I know this is an AMSR, but I'm just getting very close to the microphone. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope that I didn't confuse you by bringing in rescue services. But I feel that I was actually speaking to my Texan friend about that today. She's in Prague at the moment, and we were having a chat. And yeah, I was just thinking about that. So until the next episode, let's all create connection wherever we can, with ourselves firstly, and then with others. And let's not just change lives, but save lives.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. That's ZipRecruiter.com/zip. ZipRecruiter.com/zip.